Good morning, dear students, and I'm happy to welcome you all to today's zoology class. So, what are we going to learn today? Today's topic is cardiovascular system. What is the name of the topic? Cardiovascular system. This topic is from the lesson called circulatory system, which we started in a previous class, right? In our last class, we have studied about the structure of the heart, the different parts of the heart we have studied, and what all they do also we have learnt, right? So today's topic is cardiovascular system. What is this? So we learn in detail. So our circulatory system consists of two subsystems. What are those subsystems? One is called cardiovascular system and the second one is called lymphatic system. What did I tell you? A circulatory system, your total circulatory system can be divided into two subsystems which include cardiovascular system and lymphatic system. In today's class, we will be learning about this subsystem, that is cardiovascular system, and in our next class, we will be learning about the lymphatic system. This cardiovascular system includes three things, that is blood, blood vessels and heart. What does it mean? Blood, blood vessels and heart together is called by a term called as cardiovascular system. So cardiovascular system is nothing but when you put together blood, blood vessels and heart, you call it by a general term or a common term called as cardiovascular system. In our previous class, we have already studied about the heart, right? The detailed structure of the heart, the tubes or valves in the heart, all we have learnt in our previous class. So in today's class, we will be focusing on blood and blood vessels. What is blood? What is the nature of blood? You know it is a fluid, that is, it is liquid in nature, right? So this fluid is a circulating fluid. Can you see blood just in one place? No, right? It keeps on flowing. Even when you get a cut in your hand or a leg, when you fall down or when you bleed, it just flows out very fast because it is circulating, and when there is a cut in the part of your body, that circulating fluid will ooze out through that opening. Right. So always it keeps circulating until a man dies. And then blood vessels. You must have heard this term, but what are they? You have many small tubes in your body. Obviously, when there is a tube, the tube will be carrying something, right? So what does those tubes carry? Those tubes carry blood which circulate. So blood, just do not imagine that just below your skin you have blood directly. It is not that way. There are many tubes under your skin, okay, and those tubes are called as blood vessels, and only these blood vessels are the ones which can carry the blood. Only when there is a cut in the blood vessels, the blood will come out. Clear? So what have we learnt? Blood is a circulating fluid in your body, which means it keeps on circulating. It is not stagnant in one place, it keeps circulating. And how does it circulate? It circulates through the blood vessels. What are blood vessels? They are small tubes throughout your body through which the blood can flow. So about blood and blood vessels, let us learn. So what is blood? Okay. Blood, already you know, it is a fluid or it is in a liquid form. It is not a solid, right? It is a fluid. And one more term you have, it is a connective tissue. What is a tissue? In your grade 6 itself you must have studied, right? What is a tissue? Tissue means it is a group of cells. Many cells together, when you put together, you call it by the term tissue. Many cells or a group of cells are called tissues, right? Where are cells in your blood? You do have cells in your blood, like you must have heard RBC, WBC, that is red blood cells and white blood cells. All you have many cells in your body, right? So many cells together in one part of your body, so that is called as tissue. So blood is also, though it is a fluid or a liquid, blood is also called by the word tissue because it carries many types of cells together which perform the same function. What is the definition of tissue? Cells together, that is group of cells which can carry out the same function, are called as tissues, right? So in the blood also you have many cells, so it is called a tissue. And what type of tissue? It is a type of tissue called connective tissue. Every tissue has its name based on its function, all right. In your grade 7 you must have studied about tissues. In 6 and 7 you are learning about this, so you must be familiar, I guess. So just keep the concept in mind. Blood is also a tissue, it is though it is a liquid. So it is a fluid and it is a connective tissue. In blood you have 3 types of cells. There are 3 types of cells in the blood. What are they? They are RBC, WBC and platelets. What are the 3 types of cells present in the blood? Blood carries cells which include RBC, that is red blood cells. What is RBC? Red blood cell, right? Red blood cells. And what is WBC? White blood cells. And the third type of cells is called as platelets. So red blood cells, white blood cells and platelets. Platelets is also a cell, though you don't have the word many, no. Students, when I ask what are the cells present in blood, they just term red blood cells and white blood cells because this word do not have the word cell. Students forget this word, but keep in mind platelets is also cell. Okay, so what are the properties of these RBC, WBC and platelets? We will be learning in the next slide. Okay, and apart from these cells, blood also have a fluid called as plasma. Plasma is not a cell, it is just a liquid. Okay, and this liquid is straw colored. What is straw colored? Straw colored means the color of straw. What is straw? Cow eats straw, right? In Tamil you call it as vaikol, right? That is straw, which is somewhat pale yellow in color, right? The actual name itself is straw colored only. It is almost colorless. Have you heard this word plasma? It is a fancy word for these days. Like for corona treatment all, there is one method of treatment called plasma treatment. In severe cases, when the patient is not at all recovering, doctors are opting for plasma treatment, which means from the blood they can collect plasma of a person who has already recovered from a disease, and then if this plasma is injected into a patient, that patient will get recovered. I don't know, this is too much beyond your levels, just you can listen to this because this word is common these days, right? For corona treatment all doctors are talking about this word, so just I am telling. So plasma is a straw colored fluid in the blood which can be separated, and even for treatment this can be used. For that level you can know for your levels. Okay, so plasma is a straw colored fluid. What does it contain? You know, cells all are made up of cells. This is a colorless fluid, I told. What all the plasma can hold? It contains many substances. What are they? The plasma contains these 3 type of cells. These 3 cells should be suspended in some liquid, no? Cells should be, of course cells are present in the blood, but particularly in which portion of the blood? In the plasma only the cells are suspended. Together only you call it by the word blood. Okay, the plasma, the cells and everything together only, that fluid only you call it as blood. But exactly these 3 types of cells are located in the liquid called as plasma. Okay, so this plasma contains these 3 types of cells, that is RBC, WBC and platelets, and also the nutrients. What nutrients? You already know blood has nutrients. From where does it get the nutrients? See, when you eat and when it is digested, the nutrients are absorbed into the blood. You have studied, right, in your digestive system, all in your grade 6 and 7 you must have studied. So after digestion, when you eat, the blood only absorbs the nutrients, let it be glucose or whatever it is, the nutrients are absorbed by the blood. So that nutrients is also present in the plasma portion of the blood, and also the minerals whatever you take in. You eat many minerals, no, directly we don't eat minerals, but the vegetables all what we eat is rich in minerals. That minerals are also absorbed only in the plasma portion of the blood. And also the hormones, we have studied about hormones in a previous chapter, right? In nervous system you have many hormones, and the exact location of hormones in the blood is also once again it is in plasma. Plus proteins, many proteins you have including enzymes, and also water. Clear? So what all plasma has, this list you should memorize. The 3 types of cells, that is RBC, WBC and platelets, the nutrients what you eat, the minerals what you eat, the hormones in your body, proteins and water is all present in a straw colored liquid called as plasma. Clear? Okay, now we learn about these 3 types of cells in our body, that is in the blood, that is the RBC, WBC and platelets. What is their function when it is present in the blood? When there is a cell in your body, it will have certain function, right? So what are the functions of these 3 types of cells, that is RBC, WBC and platelets, we will be learning in this slide. Before learning about the functions of RBC, let's know some concepts about RBC. This RBC are red blood cells, you already know. Why it is called as red blood cells? Because it is red in color, you call it as red blood cells. Okay, so this red color is obtained by a pigment called hemoglobin. So this pigment hemoglobin is the one which produces this red color. What is the name of the pigment? Hemoglobin. This pigment is a iron containing pigment. This pigment is made up of iron. It is rich in iron, and this only gives a red color to the red blood cells. That's why blood is red in color, because of the presence of RBC cells. Then the function of RBC is to carry oxygen from the lungs to all the parts of the body. The function of RBC is to carry oxygen. So which portion of the blood carries oxygen? Actually this RBC cells are the ones which actually carries the oxygen, not the whole blood. RBC cells, no, red blood cells only carry the oxygen from where to where? From the lungs to all the parts of the body. How from the lungs? There will be again blood vessels surrounding the lungs. So the blood can take the oxygen and then it will transfer to all parts of the body. The oxygen is, that's how carried to all parts of the body. So we have learnt about RBC cells which contains a red pigment called hemoglobin, and the function of RBC is to carry the oxygen, we have studied. Next we learn about WBC cells or white blood cells. The function of as the name suggests, this cell is only white in color. They do not carry any pigment, so obviously they are colorless, or it is white in color. The function of WBC cells is they can destroy if viruses or bacteria unnecessary in your body is present, it will destroy all of them. This is the speciality. See, when a person is so sick, all before some years all, when dengue fever was common, we had a fever called dengue, no? So during that time the persons were affected because of low WBC count. The first symptom was like the person or the patient was very weak when a person had dengue fever. Clear? So why? Because that fever's symptom was it just destroyed WBC cells from infected patients or the people who were affected with dengue. So it leads to death also because WBC cells are the ones which will fight against the unwanted viruses or bacteria if it is present in your body. So if you have very less WBC cells, it means you don't have immunity, because your body will lose the ability to fight against the unwanted viruses or bacteria entering into the body. One thing you have to remember, always when a virus or bacteria enters into the body, immediately you will not get the disease. What your body will try to do is, your WBC cells will try to fight against that virus or the bacteria, and when the WBC fails only, that disease is caused. Fails in the case if there is too much of bacteria, that is the number is very high only, the disease will occur. If there are less number of bacteria or viruses, your WBC cells itself will destroy the virus or the bacteria. Thus, it can defend infections. What is defend? Defend means it can prevent or stop the infections happening in your body. Clear? So, the function of WBC is to fight against bacteria and viruses and destroy them and defend against diseases. Clear? There are third type of cells called platelets. This is very important. See, whenever you get a cut, a wound, suppose if you fall down and you're bleeding, after some time, after 2 minutes, all the bleeding stops, right? Until and unless it is a very big injury, the bleeding itself stops. It will become somewhat dry in that place. That is called as clotting, blood clot. So first it is a liquid, when blood starts oozing out, it is a liquid, but after sometimes what happens, it becomes like a dark red spot, right? It will just be sealed, that portion, because the process is called clotting. So that clotting is caused by this type of cell, that is the platelets. So which is responsible for clotting process in your body? Platelets are responsible. If your platelets are very good, you will have a good clotting process. Clear? So the three types of cells we have studied about are RBC, WBC and platelets. Their functions also we have studied now. Okay, one more concept. One function, one important function of blood is responsible for maintaining your temperature of the body. You have body temperature. Now, what is the temperature of human body? 37 degrees centigrade, right? So, that constant temperature is maintained by this fluid, which is the blood. Blood is responsible for maintaining the body temperature. This concept also I have to keep in mind. Okay. Now, in cardiovascular system, there are three elements or units, which are blood vessels and the heart, right? So, the topic for today is cardiovascular system. We have studied about blood. The second one is blood vessels. So, about blood vessels we will study now. What are blood vessels? I told you. The tubes in your body which can carry the blood are called as blood vessels. What are blood vessels? You have small tubes in your body, and through those tubes only the blood will flow, and those tubes are called as blood vessels. Tube-like structures which transport blood, and the origin is from the heart. So, from where blood vessels originate? It is from the heart. Origin means from where it starts forming. So, blood vessel starts forming from the heart. You have many valves, no? Through the valves there are many branches, small branches called blood vessels. Okay, the main valves which carry the blood is in the heart, right? You have many valves which you have learnt in the previous class, like aorta, pulmonary artery, veins and all you have in the heart, no? So, all of them will sub-branch, which means further they will be branched into blood vessels. That is what is meant, like they origin from the heart. And again, blood vessels are of three types. Of course, all of them are going to carry the blood. The function of blood vessels is to carry the blood, right? But again, they are classified into three types. So, blood vessels are of three types. What are those three types? One is called arteries, one is called veins, and the third one is called capillaries. So the tubes which can carry blood are divided into three called arteries, veins or capillaries. Why they are called by different names? Because of the presence of oxygen or absence of oxygen in the blood, and also the structure of these three are going to be different. Of course, all of them are tubes that will carry blood, but the structure is different. Artery structure is different from veins structure. Capillary is too tiny when compared to arteries and veins, and also the property of carrying oxygen also differs between arteries and veins. Arteries can carry oxygen, but these veins, the veins also carry blood, but their blood will not have oxygen. It is called deoxygenated blood. Okay, in detail we will be learning in the upcoming slides about arteries, veins and capillaries. So first we learn about the arteries. See, this is the artery. Actually they are like small tubes. So suppose if there is one main valve in the heart, I told you these blood vessels are branching from the heart. So it will be branched from the heart. There are small arteries. Okay, this tube, if you make a cross section, usually it is called a cross section. Suppose if I cut like this, how it will appear? There will be a tube will appear like this, right? So like this only it will appear if I make a cross section. So that's why it is like this. Clear? Okay. So where does the blood flow? Can you see your space here? This is where blood will flow. So this will be the place where blood will be flowing inside. Okay, like this blood will be flowing. What are the properties of arteries? The first property is this is a muscular organ. Why it is called muscular? See this portion this is a hollow tube where the blood will flow. Okay, but this portion it is a muscular, which means it is made up of muscles. There are many muscles in your body. Similarly, the arteries are also made up of muscles. That is why it is called as muscular, and it has a thick wall. Which is the wall here? This is the wall. The size of the wall is that is not the size, the thickness of the wall is very thick when compared to arteries, because in arteries you are going to have compared to veins, because in veins you are going to have a very thin wall, whereas in arteries you have a thick wall and it is muscular and it is elastic. What is elasticity? When you stretch it and leave, it will go back to the original position. The hair band what you use, or in your dresses also you can find elastics, right? Girls will know better, I guess. So anyway, elasticity means when you stretch something and leave. A common example is rubber bands. Suppose you pull a rubber band and leave, it will go back to its original position because of its elasticity. So that is elastic nature. Similarly, arteries also, if you stretch and leave, it will go back to its original position. And the cavity is narrow. Which is the cavity? This is the cavity. See, since this portion, this is wall, this is cavity. Clear? So when the wall is thick, the cavity is narrow. Narrow means it is very small because the wall is thick in the case of artery. When you compare with the structure of veins, you will understand better. Clear? What is the function of arteries? I told you already. Arteries and veins and capillaries, all of them carry blood, but arteries have a special property of carrying oxygenated blood. The blood whichever contains oxygen only can flow through the arteries. Suppose if it is not containing oxygen, it will choose vein to flow. Clear? Only oxygenated blood can flow through the arteries. From where to where it will flow? I told you the original origin is from the heart, right? So the arteries will take blood which carries oxygen from the heart to all the parts of the body. Why it goes to all the parts of the body? It will deliver the oxygen it has to all body parts. The body parts need oxygen, right? For metabolic process they need. So the arteries will take blood from the heart and distribute to all the body parts. Then there is one exception. I told you always arteries have the tendency to carry oxygen, right? But there is one exception called pulmonary artery. What is the name of the artery? Pulmonary artery. This artery carries deoxygenated blood. That is why I have mentioned as exception, because always arteries carry oxygenated blood, but in this case alone, in pulmonary artery alone, it is carrying deoxygenated blood. Where is the pulmonary artery? It is a tube, or it is a tube which originates from the right ventricle of your heart. So where you have already studied the name in the previous class when you studied the structure of the heart, no? So the pulmonary artery, you know, it originates only from the right ventricle. So this alone has a tendency of carrying deoxygenated blood. This is very important in exam point of view. Even when I tell this exam point of view, no, it is not for your midterm test or quarterly or half yearly exam or annual exam. I mean that throughout your life, no, when you appear for competitive exams or NEET exams or any such common exams which the government conducts, no, they may ask you such questions. What is the exceptional case where arteries carry deoxygenated blood? You have to keep in mind that it is pulmonary artery which will carry the deoxygenated blood. Clear? Then, okay. These arteries again are sub-branched. They are branched to give small tube-like structures. This is the main artery, no? This will again be branched into small tubes. Okay, many small tubes you have, and these small tubes are called as arterioles. What is the name of the smaller tubes? It is called as arterioles. The bigger one is called artery. When they are branched into small tubes, it has the term called as arterioles. And the largest artery is called as aorta. You have studied this also in the structure of the heart, no? Have you studied about aorta? You have named, you have labeled all, no, the aorta. Where is the aorta? It is present in the left ventricle of the heart. Do you remember? And this aorta, obviously it carries oxygenated blood. As like other arteries, even being the largest, it has the property of carrying only oxygenated blood. Clear? So, this is okay. One more point you have. There are coronary arteries. There are arteries called as coronary arteries. There are two arteries called right coronary artery and left coronary artery. Okay, what is the function? These two coronary arteries, that is the right coronary artery and the left coronary artery, they supply blood to the heart. Clear? They supply blood to the heart. So these names all you should remember, especially pulmonary artery, aorta and coronary arteries. What they do, from where, see, say for example pulmonary artery, where is the location? Where is it located? In the right ventricle. From the right ventricle only you can find this valve or tube. And aorta, it is from the left ventricle. These all you have to remember. And what is the function of coronary arteries? They are the ones, they are two in number, like right and the left, and their function is to supply blood to the heart. So this is all about arteries. So you have to remember all the points. Next we learn about veins. In any image you see, whatever is red in color, it means good blood or oxygenated blood, and whatever is blue in color, no, the blood which is shaded blue in color, it means it is deoxygenated blood or bad blood. Clear? So veins, that's why it is shaded blue in color. Veins have a thin wall. I told you, when you compare the structure of the veins you will understand better. I told you, no, see, this is the wall and this is thin when compared to the arteries. In arteries it was thicker, right? So when the walls are thin, the cavity, which is the cavity, this is the cavity, right? The circle is the cavity. It is wider, which means it is bigger. When the wall size is thin, the cavity size is bigger. Clear? And then, as I told you, repeatedly, they carry deoxygenated blood. From where to where? See, in your heart itself, the right side portion is red in color and the left side is blue in color, no? In your previous class we have studied. So, heart also, one side of the heart has oxygenated blood and the other side has deoxygenated blood. So, that is why it is given. From the heart, the veins are the one which will carry the deoxygenated blood to all parts of the body, and especially to the lungs it will carry, not to the body, to the lungs mainly for the purification. Sometimes it carries to body parts, but mainly whenever there is deoxygenated blood, it is carried to the lungs first for adding oxygen. Clear? And there is one exception again. The exception is called pulmonary vein. Usually veins carry deoxygenated blood, but this vein alone, pulmonary vein, is an exception because it carries oxygenated blood. Okay, and from the lungs to the right auricle it is carried. From where to where it carries? Pulmonary vein carries from the lungs to the left auricle. See, remember one thing, whenever lungs carry blood, it will be filled with oxygen because lung is the place which will provide oxygen, right? So, this pulmonary vein takes blood with oxygen from the lungs into the left auricle. These all you have to remember, left auricle, from the lungs to the left auricle. Clear? And then the smaller veins are called venules. Again, as I told you earlier, just like the artery, in veins also there are sub branches, and these branches are called by the name venules. Clear? And the largest vein is called superior vena cava. Where does it go? It drains into the right atrium or the right auricle. So, superior vena cava is the inlet for right atrium, that is the tube which connects into right atrium. Clear? And it brings, this superior vena cava brings deoxygenated blood from throughout your body. So, this you have to remember, superior vena cava is a valve or a tube which brings deoxygenated blood from all the parts of the body, and where it drains into, it finally drains into the right atrium. Clear? So, this is all about veins. So, the last blood vessel is capillaries. So, see, this is vein, this is artery, and these are capillaries. Actually, this is not the main vein, it is the venules, and these are arterioles. See, many arterioles join together to form a big artery, okay, and many venules join together to form a big vein. So, one branch of venule and one branch of arterioles will be connected by something called as capillaries. So, these are capillaries. Clear? How small it is? It is very small in size. When compared to arteries and veins, it is the smallest. So, extremely narrow. So, arteries, you saw that the cavity was narrow when compared to the veins. A wall was very thin, so the cavity was bigger, but here the cavity is extremely narrow, very small are the capillaries. And then what is it made up of? It is made up of a single layer of epithelial cells. The types of cells all you must have studied in your grade 6 and 7, no? So, what type of cells capillaries are made up of? It is made up of epithelial cells, and the function of capillaries is to connect the artery with the vein. They join the arteries and veins together. It is like a linkage between the both arteries and veins. So, what are the functions of the capillaries? They are the exact ones which can exchange the gases, nutrients and the waste. Exchange between what and what? Between the arteries and the veins. The capillaries will exchange the substances like gases, nutrients or the waste, and also It is between the blood and the cells. Say for example, because of metabolism, cells will produce waste, no? So the capillaries are the one which will pick the waste and give it to the blood, and then it will decide where to go, whether into the artery or the vein or to the kidney. Like that it will be distributed. So exactly which one picks, or which one is the intermediate between the blood and the cells? These capillaries are the intermediate between the cells of your body and the blood. Clear? So this is all about arteries, veins and capillaries. So this is for today's class, and for your homework part you are going to read pages 84 and 86. When I give this homework, read, no, do not take it for granted. Please read this lesson immediately after you watch the video, because you will never forget for your lifetime when you read immediately after the classes. Clear? And also for your homework, in page number 88 you have 5 questions. Solve them and send it to me. Clear? So that is all for today's class, and until I meet you in your next class, you all take care and bye bye.